Hello, I'm Jeff Byers, instructor of ANI 150, Introduction to 3D and Game Art, and we are going to start Module 3. Let's go ahead and head on down to Module 3. Just to recap though, you finished modeling, texturing, and rendering your Sci-Fi crate, and now we're going to move on to our next Part 1 and Part 2, two-part series. And Module 3 and 4 work together. So let's go ahead and get into creating a sci-fi weapon. Again, this weapon is a sci-fi, science fiction. It's non-lethal. In fact, you can think of it as shooting out very soft foam, something like a Nerf projectile, which is very slow, bounce right off of you. Again, this is for modeling exercise only, and I do not promote violence at all. Okay, so again, just to kind of highlight that, please do not contact me through Canvas. It goes into my junk email. Again, please contact me via jbyers3@jcc.edu if you want to get a prompt response. I check my emails Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 a.m., 12:30, 3, 6, and 9. I will not respond to your phone call, but if you text me and let me know that you sent an email, I'll get right to your email. That's the best way to get me going, meaning that in between these times I will check again 9, 12:30, 3, 6, and 9. Again, I cannot diagnose or fix software issues. I cannot also diagnose hardware issues that you're having problems with at home. So if Substance Painter is not working and you have a video card, that video card is your responsibility to get up to spec for the software. I can't do that for you, and also cannot diagnose that for you as well. There's no way on earth I can know exactly what operating system you have, what hardware system you have. So please don't expect me, or don't think that I'm going to have that in the videos. So yes, you're responsible for your own hardware and your own software. Okay? So again, weekly schedules, module assignments. They start Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning. Now I've changed that. I've had a student say, hey, I'd really appreciate if you could go ahead and get that started earlier. Could you open that up 6 in the morning? Yes, absolutely. So I open it up earlier. And I want you guys to learn as much as you can. That's the earliest I'm going to do it, though. There are times that I'm running late on stuff, trying to get things in at the last moment, at the last minute. It's not unusual, but it's rare. But it does happen. So I think it will be open by tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the morning, so you guys can get started. Hopefully that helps those of you that want to get started early in the morning that have to work. Overview. Again, I said this is part 1 of 2 parts. Part 1 is focused on modeling, and part 2 is focused on texture, lighting, rendering, and presentation. In this module, you will continue to learn the Maya user interface. You should know most of it by now, okay? And Maya modeling tools. We're basically focusing on modeling tools and hard surface modeling. You got a little taste of it with the crate, but this one we're really throwing you in there with it. And so I don't think I'm going to be doing any detailing in Mudbox unless you guys would like to do that. You know how to do that. Feel free to go ahead and detail as much as you want in Mudbox. We're going to try to get all the detail in there through just hard surface modeling, and then bring in everything into Substance Painter. Okay. Objectives. Alright, basically you're going to continue learning more about the Maya user interface, but we are mostly focusing on modeling tools, okay, and hard surface modeling. And basically you'll learn a little bit more. At the end of the module you should learn a little bit more about the Maya UI, manipulating primitives, learning more about hotkeys, creating high poly modeling and low poly modeling, and learning good edge loops and hard surface modeling for high resolution meshes. Alright, we're going to look at the course assignment. You will be modeling a sci-fi weapon following a reference provided by the instructor, which you will get. Student will import the reference provided by the instructor into the front viewport, and for modeling purposes. Now this will probably be the side viewport. I don't, just watch the video. Sometimes I do it in the front, sometimes I do it in the side, depending on the axis direction. And then high poly and low poly, don't get stuck on that kind of stuff. Okay. Additional details, Sci-Fi, I don't know if you want to bring it into Mudbox, you know how to do it. You can look at the videos for the crate to get refreshed if you've forgotten how to do that. We're going to be using Maya 2020 and Substance Painter. I'm not going to be using Mudbox in this one. If you would like to, feel free to look at the crate videos to remind you. That's Module 2. If you need additional help, there's documentation pages for Autodesk Maya 2020, Substance Painter, Photoshop, Normal Map, XNormal, and Autodesk Mudbox 2020. These are the pieces of software we'll touch. I probably won't be doing a ton of stuff in Autodesk 20 in Mudbox, but once in a while I do like to have it. XNormal, that is if we can't get Substance Painter to bake properly, we'll be forced to get into XNormal, which is, all this stuff is free. Photoshop, it's really up to you guys. I think some of you asked me if we had to have it. You can use GIMP, you can use other software packages that are free that I'm okay with, but I just don't teach it, that software. Again, I keep my user interface. I want you to continue looking at this, learning this, because eventually on a quiz we're going to have this. I'm going to give you this image, and then I'm going to give you a key, and then you're going to have to match them up. Okay, so look for that. Make sure, and this will be in the next 2 weeks, so you need to learn where things are at. Okay, and again, I just throw this up here. I probably could take that down. I think I'm going to take this kind of stuff down. And my key shortcuts, I'm going to take this down too next time. So learn your hotkeys. Okay. Lesson content. Again, modeling tools. So I've got 3 parts to this. Watch those in succession, and it goes over the main modeling tools you're going to be using for this particular assignment. And then we go into hard surface modeling. What is hard surface modeling? What's the difference between hard surface modeling and organic modeling? Please read my lecture. And basically now we're getting into hard surface modeling technique lecture. This is a very short lecture on, and I want you to watch it, but I'm just going to summarize. Basically showing you the difference between an infinite edge and an edge that reflects specular light, and light rays in a specular manner, and talks briefly about some hard surface modeling techniques, getting you kind of primed up with edge loops. But we already went through that with the crate, so I didn't really want to dive into that. I was more interested in showing you techniques that you might find difficult to try to achieve, and so that goes through that. So make sure you watch it. And then of course now it's time to go ahead and build the sci-fi weapon. Alright, the whole idea is, now I'm just gonna put this out there, there are literally hundreds of ways to start modeling something. Okay, this is the way I do it. Doesn't mean it's the only way, and I only care about the end result. Okay, and the idea is, though, for these tutorials to help guide you. Okay, if there are other tools you would like to use, if there are other techniques you would like to use, as long as you give me what I'm asking for at the very end, I really don't care how you get there, okay? But if your model doesn't look as good as mine, okay, that's the standard. That's the gold standard. If it, if it's one of those things that it just, you go your own way and it looks horrible, that's why I have these videos, right? Is to help guide you, okay? If you find a different way you want to model, if you have a different workflow, again, I'm not going to judge you on that. It's one of those things that whatever you're comfortable doing. Again, you need to start using Maya. I know some of you have used Blender and 3ds Max. The problem with that is that all of our classes, every one of the classes that you're taking, probably 7 or 8 of the courses are going to be using Maya. You're going to have to learn it sometime, okay? So you might as well just push aside the other software and go head deep into Maya and learn as much as you can. All right? It's not going to hurt you. I know both Blender, 3ds Max, Maya, Cinema 4D, Modo, and the list goes on. XSI when it was a big deal. So it's hard to go from one software to another, but it's not about the software. It's about your foundational information and your knowledge and experience it's going to take you a long ways. Okay? Nobody's going to hire me because I know Maya or if I know 3ds Max. They're hiring me because of the work that I've done. So that's all that matters. Okay? So grading rubric. Make sure you look at this very carefully, what I'm going to be grading you on. Okay? And then turn-in instructions video tutorial. I'll get that into you. It's the same. It's basically exactly the same. Pretty soon I'm going to stop putting those in because you should know how to do it after the first and second module. So the fourth module, actually the fifth module, I'm going to stop giving you turn-in instructions because it's going to be exactly the same. Okay? So for modeling it's going to be this. For texturing it's going to be, like module 2, right? So the structure isn't going to change except for the name on the very back. Okay? So just understand that eventually I'm not going to give you that turn-in instructions because you're going to be turning in this same exact thing every single module. Okay? Pretty much. When it comes to the modeling only, that's what this is basically going to look like. And then when you get into texturing, it's going to look like module 2, right? Module 3 looks like module 1 as far as turn-in goes. Alright. Okay, and module 4 will look like module 2 when you turn it in. And so, I don't know how many of you guys had time to create the Sci-Fi, the smaller Sci-Fi crate, but I'm going to extend that, meaning that when you have time, so I'm going to extend this to the end of the year, or the end of this, not the end of the year, the end of this time we have together in the next 6 more weeks, if that, 6 weeks. So at the end you guys can turn that in, so don't worry, this is not due until the end, and you guys can get up to 20 points. So you can see that the first one, it was modeling, that was 10 points, and this one is 10 points. So when you have a chance, go ahead and go back to module 2 and module 3, this one, and go ahead and get that done. Okay? Alright. So that's it. And I wish you the best of luck this week. Please don't wait to the middle of the week to get started on this. I highly recommend that you put this at the top of your list. If you're taking more than one class this summer, I would put this at the top of the list. Get this done as soon as possible, because if you do run into issues, because this is so technical, and the software, and you might run into software issues, calling me or trying to get a hold of me on Sunday night is really difficult. It's not good for you, and I'm not staying up until wee hours of the morning, even though I did tonight, getting things done. Okay, so you may not be able to get a hold of me, if at 11:59 at night, telling me, oh my gosh, I can't get my stuff in. Do the best you can, and again, if you're late on a project, it's 4 points off every single day, including the day you're late. And after 8 days, it goes down to a 0. Okay. All right. So you guys have a great week, and I will see you soon, and good luck with your project, and email me at jbyers3@jcc.edu. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you back in Module 4.